When we consider PLC guiding question 1, what is it that we want all students to know? We need to first consider the text sets that we have been provided. Each of the ReadyGen text sets provides students with a series of complex text built around a single topic, just as required by the Common Core State Standards. On page 33 of the Common Core State Standards, the authors express the importance of having books built in a series around a topic for students to be able to build knowledge from text. Before we can possibly begin to plan a unit of instruction for students, we must first consider all of the text in the set and read each of the texts to determine how that text builds upon the other texts in order to provide knowledge to the student on the topic. If we think about our kindergarten text set, we think about Make Way for Ducklings. If a new teacher were to get Make Way for Ducklings and not have read any of their other texts in the set, they would not understand the value and intentionality of Make Way for Ducklings as part of a series of texts on habitats. Instead, the teacher might notice that the text is extremely long, that it is in non-color text, and that the book was written in 1941. Therefore, the teacher might decide to replace Duck on a Bike for Make Way for Ducklings. However, the only thing that we're going to get out of Duck on a Bike is Duck on a Bike. Make Way for Ducklings, however, sets up our students to be able to learn the importance of habitats and how Mrs. Mallard, the duck, goes about finding the perfect habitat for her baby ducklings. In this, we discover that a habitat includes safety, shelter, food, and water. Make Way for Ducklings sets us up to also be able to read other texts in that series, such as Life in a Pond. But as a kindergarten student, I take all of the information with me from Make Way for Ducklings and Life in a Pond and everything that I've learned about habitats into first grade with me, into Unit 1 in first grade with Stellaluna. Stellaluna is not just a book about a bat. However, Stellaluna sets us up to begin to understand animal attributes. What is unique about each animal, where they live, and how they survive. By reading Stellaluna, we allow children to be able to do things like compare bats and birds, to understand that bats have webbed wings, that they're nocturnal and they fly at night, and that understanding the habitat information I bring with me, I understand why Stellaluna's perfect home is not a nest, but rather a cave would be a more appropriate suiting for her. I take that information and the information I get from elephants and their calves and the other texts in that unit with me into second grade to read all about Charlotte's Web. In Charlotte's Web and On the Farm, I take the information from kindergarten and first grade to understand how animals' habitat needs, as well as their attributes, allow them to survive together on a farm and what that requires. From second grade, I take that information into third grade, where I begin to study about organisms and roots and the things that they need to survive, as well as understanding with Gasping Garbage the process of observing and the value of making observations. Those scientific traits I carry with me into the Tarantula Scientists, Skeletons, and The Boy Who Drew Birds in fourth grade, where I not only take my information about habitats to understand where the tarantula lives, the attributes that it has that I learned all about in Stellaluna, but also I understand from observing in Gasping Garbage that the way scientists observe these animals and their habitat allows them to better understand them and also understand the impact that change has upon them. And I take all of that information from those 4 years of text and the Tarantula Scientist years into Spadefoot Toad, Rachel Carson, and the Rainforest. And here in my 6th year with ReadyGen, I will understand how all of this ties together when I understand the teacher and student relationship as they learn about the Spadefoot Toad. I'll understand about the ecology of not only the Spadefoot Toad, but of the world of Rachel Carson and the impact of the rainforest and food chains. That knowledge builds very discreetly over time for students. And when we say that students enter us without having the background knowledge that they require in order to tackle these complex texts, it is our obligation and It is our ability to be able to build this background over time so that students are able to tackle these complex texts with the knowledge that they build from one grade level to the other in order to tackle complex texts, be successful, and also build knowledge about the world around them, because knowledge is power.